Yo, hello guys, another Chains of Command build update. Many friends are asking that they are tired to AFK in Simulacrum or Black Ravage map. They want to do something more different and challenging like T17 farming strat. So today I would like to introduce T17 strat I recently doing and what change I made for this build. The strat I recently farming is the Febgun's ABYSS Strat, and this strat will require an ABYSS Scarab and Scarab of Advice to spawn horse as the ABYSS travels. Then with 3 Scarab of Risk to min-max the profit. But strat is really hard. The enemies, they are very high damage. So if you found you die a lot or your AG also die a lot, then you can replace 1 or 2 Risk Scarab to the Scarab of Wisps. That will reduce the difficulty, but the rewarding will also reduce a little bit. And the map we're doing is T17 Fortress. There are some mobs we want to avoid, and I will post those filters in the descriptions. So basically we just roll the map until we don't have those mobs, and with more scarab and more currency. And personally, I will roll until I have at least 100% scarab or 100% currency. Okay, this one is good. We have 140% currency, and those mobs we can handle that. Okay, so now we are ready for the map. For the Atlas passive, I basically follow Febgun's strat. So in this strat, we take all the effect of explicit modifier on the map, and all the scarab nodes, and we try to increase the chance for the ambush scarab, and also the cartograph scarab. I will post a link for this in the description. And for the character, I made some changes for this T17 farming. As you can see, I can cap my block chance to 77% and 76% without use Rumis Flask. That is because I changed my Anoint to as the Mountain. So I can get 12% additional chance to block. And I also spend one more passive on the spell block chance node here to get 4% more spell block damage chance, so that I can drop Rumis for other like Armor Flask or Evasion Flask. And because in T17 the map is so big, you cannot sustain your Flask all the time. And I found that that is very dangerous, that if we cap our block chance by Rumis Flask. So I made the annoying and the passive change to make sure I can always cap my block chance. And because we no longer have the mana reservation efficiency node, so one of my ruin I changed to Vendor's Gamble to get some additional mana reservation efficiency to compensate the loss for the Amulet Anoint. And personally, I still sometimes will die in this trade, so each map will cost me 2 or 3 portals to finish a map. And if you have Mageblood, of course you can upgrade to it. If I use Mageblood to give me more defense, then personally I can finish the map by 1 or 2 portals. And if I upgrade to Mageblood, then I will change my flask to the Topaz and the Ruby Flask, and also the Armor Flask and a Quicksilver. So like this. And remember, you should roll the flask with reduced effect of curse, and immunity to bleeding and corrupted blood, and more armor and more evasion. This setup works really good, but I think it's okay if you don't have a Mageblood. You can just use our previous Darkness Insurance, and with the chance to taunt and also a life leech on the minion. Then with our original flask light also works. You just may spend 1 or 2 more portals. And before we enter the boss room, with 3 risk scarab, they are very hard to kill, so we have to treat them like uber bosses. So I will prepare 2 Screaming Terror ring in my bag. Then before I enter the boss room, I replace one of my bone ring to Screaming Terror, and also replace one of the ring on my mercenary before I enter the boss room. To this setup, I can always sustain my weapon on the maximum number during the boss. And some friends are asking their AG sometimes are dying in the T17 risk scarab. And because T17 with the scarab of risk, the enemy's damage is really high, and our AG could sometimes die during the map. So currently I changed my AG to socket on my glove with +2 level of socket minion gens. It will increase about 30% more life for your Animate Guardian. And I also changed one of the support gen for my Guardian. I dropped the awakened element damage of the with attack, so we no longer able to handle the reflection map. But I replaced it with the level 21 mid shell to give my AG 31% less damage taken. That really improved my AG's survivability. Now my AG's EHP is about 1 million. You can check in POE to make sure your AG has about 1 million EHP before you do this trade. Otherwise, your AG could die very often. And this is my current passive. So for the minion survivability, of course, we still have the great intention to overcome the whisper effect on our helmet. And the mastery, I choose the minion has 8% or maximum elemental resist. And then is we have to use a minion life cluster with Blast Rebirth and Life from Death. The Blast Rebirth make our minion created recently no damage, so this is great for our weapons survivability. And also we need the Life from Death, give more minion life and regenerate life for our character. And also minion also recover lives on other minion death, provides a great survivability for our enemy weapon. If your AG still sometimes has die problem, then you could consider to take the Decay Ward passive here. Maybe you have to respect some damage node to spare 5 more passive for this. This provides really good survivability for our minions. And for example, you can maybe respect some damage node here, and maybe some life, and maybe one of the enduring charge. Then you can spare 5 points to get those minion block chance. So I think with those change, your AG could have about 1 million or 1.5 million EHP, so that is enough to handle in a T17 map. And most important, you must to have a minion life leech on your belt. If you use Mageblood, then you should also take a minion defense mastery with 1% damage as life. So that's basically the change I made for T17 farming. So T17 Strat is very profitable, but it will also require a very solid build to make that. So if you die a lot or you always fail a map, then which means you may be not ready for T17 farming Strat. You should consider maybe back to Simulacrum or back to Ravage map to farm more currency and upgrade your build for the minion defense and character defense before you proceed to the T17 Strat. If you like the content for today, please subscribe and see you next time.